Oh, they do countdown, yeah. So
But the broadcast is now live.
right, Fambulema, bring on a warm greetings from the TNN TV Media Empire. Here we talk today, the 20th of June, 2022. And I mean, in Prince Emil Koma. Obviously, when I go don't see the topic because we advertise them and it's a calling program where they ask Sierra Leoneans them in in a massive way for pick up their phones and call, because in a participatory democracy, the voices of the people is very, very important. It can help for shape opinion and shape policy, and sometimes most of the time government can listen. So today we want to talk about the midterm census. And for help we for understand or provide a synopsis, a perspective, a background of this all important topic we want to talk about, we get a brother and a friend and a fellow anchor at this particular platform. We go help we for understand or do the submission on which we supposed for pick up on today. And this brother and friend is none other but Mr. Mohammed Kamara, commonly known as Supermed. Like I say again, we go help for provide a synopsis, a background, or a perspective of this midterm census and the results. Supermed is it's good to see you. It's been a while. We haven't done something together, but you there today for can help to understand the background of the census, and I'm very thankful to you for taking time out of your busy schedule for honor this request. Thank you very much and welcome, my brother.
Thank you very much, Mr. Prince Emil Kuma and Famulona Adu, and welcome to the Den and Now Media Empire, the hub of the conversation. Today, as the we own resident moderator, Mr. Prince Emil Kuma, one of the finest moderators online from the Sierra Leonean diaspora, don't already explain. Today, I calling program. Today, democracy day now we earn. For can talk about waiting about the midterm census, the 2021 midterm census, where just don't conclude, we don't see figures, they don't come out, plenty controversy they around them. So the Delano Media Empire, as you know, now the hub of the conversation, give the opportunity today for all ourselves can give our opinion. We talk about them. We not forget to democracy. They say now a form of government in which the power then now we the people they are. We the people they are now we get the power. So whenever something like this they happen, now big thing where we all for most part. In case any controversy, people in authority know waiting our thinking, waiting our thoughts, how we see the whole process go. So, ladies and gentlemen, like where Mr. Prince Emil Koma today's program now they just concluded midterm census 2021 midterm census, in which the government now and statistics Sierra Leone don't pull figure. Plenty controversy surround them as they say. Who side is begin? We all be know where this particular midterm census issue be begin, even for when they go lay the documents in the parliament. It be bring them plenty controversy, because the government begin operates the census in business with statistics without even laying the document first in the parliament. Now people get for correct them, and government get for do about first turn for run go down the parliament for go lay that document thing. We be see the main opposition, APC party, be totally and entirely disagree with the whole process, but not only no more. The consortium of progressive political parties, where they call COPE, were comprised of 13 different political parties, they all began together and say they oppose this midterm census. Then give plenty reason then when they say this particular midterm census not there in line. First of all is that it is unprecedented. That means say now the first thing this they do midterm census now we country. Because census now we country now after every 10 years. And this census business now very important business. Because not for politics no more, for development, for education purpose, for international partner purpose. So as I say, even for lady documents in parliament, if we bring them a little bit of couscous, special session was summoned. Plenty of the opposition members of parliament say that particular session they not be thorough, it not be go according to how parliamentary process they supposed for go. Because even the mails at some points, it not be the outside supposed for there, and paper and check paper them, there was commotion. But yet still, the government went ahead say yes, they don't do the process, they don't let them down. But again, when I remember at the 11th hour, when the census just one take off, the key partners then went for partner with government for make sure that census they go ahead. Now the World Bank, then pull their support or out, say they not believe say the technicalities reach the standard when they're supposed for reach for make the census go ahead. So they try for talk to statistics here, say, may they suspend the whole process and make sure say then do all it's the way they're supposed to do. We're going to lend credibility to this particular midterm census. Not forget, so government midterm we say this midterm census they do one because the 2015 census where the previous government be make, it not be thorough. The figure will not be correct according to this current administration. Although that was disputed by people over there in the previous administration. Say yes, little bit problem be there, but that little bit problem, it was insignificant to the overall figure we come out. But despite all of this controversy, all of this problem, even when World Bank, when are the main supporters them, when are the main partners them with government for do this census here, so full support for them, government and statistics Sierra Leone continue for go ahead. And again, that was very important segment. That was now be very important term, but this whole process. Because why make we do census for? We get for ask we say. Now for there, we'll get a number of people in our country and outside and tap. So that when we want to do development, we go able to target all the region them appropriately. So that we will get proper schooling. And the schooling facility will need for locates that sat inside in the country according to how the population dispersed in the country. So the census in itself, again, beaucoup purposes there. And the people that they work with for validate that particular census there, or when for give support in terms of technicality and approval to the census, when at the World Bank, then say pull on, that not be good for we at all. But yet, as I say, governments carry on. And according to the latest report we get, they say the enumerators and the people went for go around for count people. There were over 8,000 people short. Because obviously, financial backing was a problem. If the people they back we financially pull on, that means the financial burden all go on left na government in your hand. So we know say government in Sierra Leone always constraints in terms of finance. Because what you do, we not like when you say a donor-driven economy. Most of the time, we they above by grants them and loan where international body they give you. So according to the latest report, as I say, even the enumerators them, they are over 8,000 shots. So that's one big handicap force. Because they need over 20-something thousand. I think they only recruit and get over about 15,000. So over 8,000 enumerators short. And again, these enumerators are they forget a thorough training. But that did not happen. We see at very many points Where even statistics alone can't say we say the enumerators, when they begin work, plenty of them not able to meet and target them. Some of them may be so poor that even they're below 30% of the target when they're supposed to meet, then they meet them. And we all know we get plenty reports them all about now the country. When they say people in some area them, some streets, some one area, no enumerator, no kind for country, nobody. Yet still, the government and statistics alone, they play along, they continue this process. Despite all the protestation, despite all the condemnation by so many experts, they say, well, statistics Sierra Leone will not prepare. Plenty things they're lacking. These census they go on, even people in the one streets, no enumerator, no candidate. They not count people there. But yet still, the government and statistics Sierra Leone continue, as they say, then play along. And recently, we don't see the number will come out. Plenty Sierra Leoneans them up and down the country. We are shocked for a say, Freetown, instead of the population go up, the population decrease. As many tell us so, I just come on Freetown. The kind of population explosion we see Freetown in type no day. So I go be shocked for a say over almost years. Instead of the population go up, it don't go down back. Because what me see with me young come on high, one. The kind of population one day see and day. So many Sierra Leoneans and all about in the country we shocked for say this population of Freetown, you not go up with it, go down. And what you see back, they say the population at some districts in the south, Ibo, Kenema, they don't go up. And I want to on the back say, where I go Salon, I go Bo and Kenema. With me own naked out, me own common sense, I cannot compare the population of Freetown and the population of Bo. And I'm not going to go sit down at Bo Town, Bo Central. I'm going to nearly all the corners them of the districts. So it is unbelievable. Plenty Sierra Leoneans them where this final result of this midterm census come out. They're really shocked. And in fact, it was some people facing a joke when the number them begin come out. And opposition party members, there are some other men, political pundits them suspect say this particular midterm census, one reason or the other, there are ulterior motives behind them. Recently now, they hear about boundary delimitation because we know say with general elections they come next year. We also hear about proportional representation. All of these things wrap around this census. The data will come up from her. And again, we see yesterday when the consortium of progressive political party, the group in what they call COPE, were comprised of 12 different political parties, them come again and say they outrightly and totally condemn this figure. Then they urge government may not do nothing with this particular census figure. Because they believe say this particular census figure will come also not meet the threshold where go give them any credibility for sure say that number they already statistics alone pool. Na number way genuine, na number way credible. And again, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very important topic. I want to really let we call it, let we discuss them, let we talk about it. The CEO and founder of this particular platform, Mr. Prince Emil Kuroma, don't tell you. Because it's a very important thing, this census not about election no more. It wrap around with education, business, develop so many things there. Not of them can see also people them for gerrymandering with. and make international partners and not see we like say we na a laughing stock. They go do them kind here just because of ulterior motives and where some people they go get. That is not correct at all. So if Mr. Prince Emil Koma, they ask me for giving a background, a synopsis of this particular 2021 midterm census, now this don't transpire from when this census begin to USA we dey so elect today. And again, and they repeat, this particular census business, it get wider ramifications. Ladies and gentlemen, we should know this. It get wider ramifications. With democracy, it then now we on. And with democracy, then a crossroad, ladies and gentlemen. So me and you, who for play with Lily and Natty parts, we will play. For many people, them in authorities, they understand, say, we go hold them accountable for whatever they do. We country, we don't go through so many things there. And it's about time we stop all the after you keep business and try to follow a trade path for the benefits of the people and the country Sierra Leone. So the urge now, Mr. and all the people that listen to we so na YouTube, na Facebook, we have joined the conversation. We have bring out your own point of view then. Probably not go disagree with something we don't highlight. Or get different way of looking at things. All of those opinions are welcome. It's like a calling program. When I call in, the number that they say on the screen, when I call in and give una views them, una opinion them, una see una own facts. Don't forget to who believe that the platform say, we get what they call opinion. We get what they call truth. We get what they call facts. Opinion na opinion. Your own opinion na your own opinion. The truth can be true for me, it not can be true for you. But the fact is the fact. We all know say there are 24 hours in a day. That has been established worldwide. That is a fact. The fact that the World Bank pull out at the 11th hour, that is a fact. Not to be just make them up no more. The World Bank then give a young reason. That is a fact. So we all go get your own opinion, we get your own truth. But the fact is the fact. And we on this platform, we let it conclude for now. We left the discussion open. Una go make una own judgment. Because we believe say now the hub of the conversation, the then and now media empire, now for bring up the relevant information, bring up key stakeholders them, bring up the discussion them, we get for benefits we country tomorrow. So if I reach now, I want to stop now and hand over back to Mr. Prince Emil Koma. Mr. Prince Emil Koma, back to you. And I believe say Mr. Prince Emil Koma will can stay away now for bring una the public to the conversation.
Many thanks. Many thanks. The ever brilliant Mr. Mohammed Kamara, aka Supermed, doing a marvelous job and doing justice for his country. He could not have done a better job than he's already done for lay waste waiting day before we. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're not listening carefully, this is the challenge. You can't be for, you can't be against. Whichever position you take, you do have a stake or you're a stakeholder now your society, now your country, now your community. So therefore, whether you disagree with Mr. Kamara, whether you disagree with me, whether you disagree with others who will be potentially participating in this conversation tonight, it's important that you make your views known so we can have a back and forth. Because like I don't say, in a participatory democracy, the voice of the people a very, very important, because why? It can help for shape opinion. It can help for shape policy, because government can listen. Because government not to say now some genius, oh no, it's on the basis of the people, how the people and they engage. That's why democracy is about for the people, by the people, and with the people. Mr. Kamara, I know say the arrangements now for let you lay waste waiting day before we in terms of this midterm census, the results, the repercussion, and XYZ. But if you really don't mind, I go ask you for let you wait around for a few more minutes, because probably there might be some questions we might be directed at you, or just generally where hopefully you will answer. But I promise you, it's only going to be a few minutes, and we will open the line in about a few minutes time. I mean, just want to highlight few things before we open the line. So once again, I want to say thank you to everyone that we don't tune in. And for those of una we don't tune in, we they ask una, listen, we they get thousands of people when they watch with programs. Like Mr. Kamara just come from Freetown the other day, loaded. And when I say loaded, listen to the emphasis, loaded with information from back home. With most of we, including myself, I'm not privy to, but just by virtue of me privilege for no Mr. Kamara, I happen for a few things which he able for gather whilst he been there on the ground. I mean, massive respect. That's why when he speaks, we have to listen. You don't have, or we don't have to necessarily have to agree. And he make that in the opening statement that you can disagree with them. Not necessarily have to agree with them, but let's have this conversation. Because after all, what is involved is our country. And it's only one country that we have. If we make a mess out of it, we've got nothing left. And those of us who happen for be outside of the country, all we will be doing is something we are no one for go into, but many, many regrets on how we can find a country for revert back to. And unfortunately for the one that we did, now the country itself is even more and more difficult. Having said this, some of the development and the way they reach this platform is Mr. Mohammed 91 Cisse with the Yerise they no arrest him. He was arrested earlier on, allegedly, with his wife. Before at the Kana studio, I understand say the wife has been released. Mr. Mohammed 91 Cisse is a popular, very popular opposition leader. He belongs to the opposition. I don't know the story yet on why he was arrested, but story where they reach this platform say that he's still under government arrest. And obviously, when they hold you, say in a number of days, I think 3 days. After the 3 days, you will be charged and sent to court. But what we they see recently, even those 3 days, other things they can develop and they can go well beyond the 3 days. But we go continue for look into this story, and as we get information, we go continue for bring and count to una. There is also the story where they make the airwaves, which is that of popular Sierra Leonean artist LAJ. LAJ, as we understand, was taken into custody, had his dreadlocks, his famous dreadlocks, shaved. I haven't followed that story, and there's a specific reason why. The distraction too many. I know they say LJ in story not important, but not very long ago, we get a story of another man where they call Lack or Chocolate. Yeah, Chocolate. I can't even remember the name. He was in government.
LAC.
Yeah, how they call him?
LAC.
LAC. He was in jail, condemned for murder. For murder. Murdered somebody. Deprived somebody of their Pekin, of their husband, their uncle, you know. So the court where we get, because the argument suddenly erupt that suddenly forensic not there. So therefore, there will have been a miscarriage of justice. Really? I disagree with that. Fundamentally disagree with that, because we get for do with waiting we get, and waiting we get now in will be used at the time. But of course, this is now the toxic time of politics where everybody get a view, and there's nothing wrong with everybody get a view, but inside them views and the other people them, you they see it has become the talking point of a certain section of the country, of a government, of a society, where the only intent now for derail a process where Sierra Leoneans and not go see eye to eye, deliberately misleading, the era of disinformation and misinformation is here. Is here. And waiting we dey try for do, like Mr. Kamara say, now this particular hub, which is the hub of the conversation, and then no spin zone, no propaganda zone. We not even dey dilute with messages them where we get. How will they receive them? And so will they put them out there to the people. Also today, Fambulem, including the LAJ story, in the great United States of America, in Prince George's County, down at Washington, D.C., which is the seat of the government of the United States, Sierra Leoneans them hold a protest, a demonstration. We can interchangeably use the words because they're not far from each other. For protest, the democracy where they become a thing of the past. And I say so deliberately because the gains that we make, and the program is coming soon on this platform. We made so many gains over the past 25, 30 years. We fought a bloody civil war. We compatriots them, we lost over 75,000 of them. And that's a conservative figure because it could well be over 100,000. Limbs were hacked. Not only of the, and I know they justify say, now the limbs of adults should be hacked. But the idea that babies, toddlers were not spared. And every time I say this, it well me up. And I hate for talk about this. But yet still, the reason why we went to war, it seemed like some are not interested because there is a retrogressive streak now with society right now that then gains the endeavor we make in with democracy is becoming something else. But this is for another day. But today, now Washington, D.C., there was a group of Sierra Leoneans them. Of course, we know what social media go do because the divide is so huge that these people will go demonstrate or protest in behalf of democracy, we're supposed for benefit we all, will be classified in some way so derogatory that it is unacceptable. And long before we go to this, we on this platform, they say, these are Sierra Leoneans that reserve the right to protest. And in a country where protest is recognized, then do we all justice, despite where you not agree with them. Let's listen to why they went to protest. Do you agree with the form of democracy we get today? Or do you disagree? Because it's not 100%, but yet still that division day. But it's an ever shrinking number of people. Never mind. So these people been there out in full today, now Washington, D.C., in which they went to protest about the democracy, which is retrogressing. Also in that protest day, but of course it was all about democracy, which is police brutality, the abuse of human rights, not recognizing the rights of the people in every shape or form, in which the instruments of state is being used against the people. So we get these brave sisters and brothers who turn up. And if una look at my background, una go see exactly a portion or a partial picture of the people that we turn up today now Washington, D.C., both at the Embassy of Sierra Leone and under police control. Also, they visit the State Department, according to the reports where they read, for make known the dissatisfaction as to the direction in which we country they go. And personally, on this platform, I want to applaud these people because we on this platform believe say, the exercise of we right is sacrosanct, is protected under we own constitution, and so is the Magna Carta in Europe, and so is the Constitution of the United States of America. It's a global thing that the rights of people must be respected, and Sierra Leoneans are no exception. And I applaud them again one more time. And LAJ been there on top of the program in which they say LAJ must be released ASAP without conditions. And from what you
And
hear,
again,
we need. Yeah, you want to say
and
something, Super?
yes, please. Thank you very much, Mr. Prince Semikoma. And again, I just want to echo something we don't talk about already. Mohammed 91 say na a regular contributor na this platform. So we are very saddened and shocked for a say they don't detain him na CID allegedly for something where he posts where apparently they said it is inciting. Obviously, we they continue for follow the story, but let we find out what's really happened. Because it's been this continuous spate of arrest after arrest after arrest. And again, this is not a bode well for the country. you know, they create a good picture for a country. Because now any democratic state, people them for able to get a freedom of expression. If they say, according to the tweet or whatever we put up, because me say see that tweet there, I don't see any malicious way they call behind that particular tweet there. In fact, the tweet is, cannot threatening. I don't see anything. Again, we don't know the full fact yet, but if there anything for go by, we are very worried. We hope say the full facts will be established as soon as possible. And again, the idea that when they detain you 2-3 days and charge you go court, then for send you pardon road immediately, even if like a minor crime, when I billable offense. Because as I talk so, information me too back said today, this popular rapper LJ appear in a court when they charge about him for 4 counts of robbery. But they don't detain her and send her to maximum security prison. And again, we are now an interview happened at BBC where the Inspector General of Police in Census say LJ they got in here because LJ them feel say one kill himself and they feel say one using dread for killing himself. So they make the cut in here. Which I mean people it beggars believe. Because if they go hold somebody for robbery, let me say robbery. Let me say the person even guilty, probably now almost month sentence, or maybe not even a fine, or maybe a suspended sentence. Why would somebody just go robbery, one kill himself? And again, this another dispute the fact, go not get the full fact. But it beggars believe say the other people in back, when they all later on with LJ them, and people will go from back when they all, they shave all their head back. Is the Inspector General of Police itself which say that people in the back when they shave all their head, they say they all want commit suicide. Would the ear will not be long better? When the ear some of the like me here and yet so, how will we use it me here for kill myself? Anyway, all of these are questions to be answered. And we hope say this time the Independent Police Complaints Commission will get a salon, go able to do a thorough investigation into this issue. And again, with the second of this platform, we are disappointed that the man then get pass and can't go Panemba Road. Despite all these what and call this TO people don't complain about so on and so forth. When we know say the offense not a bailable offense. You know, and this not the only stop to him. We know say another big political figure, they like today, 30 days they Panemba Road language. When I be another contributor back to this platform, Mr. Mohamed Kamari Massi say sorry, where they don't bail already, yet still there are connotations make up to now the non left. All of these things are very important in them where we for multiple and like glad the way Mr. Prince Emin Kuma bring come up. Let we just highlight them and talk about them. And again, we tell them people go protest now, Washington again. Plenty, thank you. Because as well, Mr. Prince said, this is not the right. They raise their voice for the interest of the people and the country. And the police brutality, we've got to say it, we don't see a plenty thing. We don't see when they hold and say it's full. Now, iron and take the weapon it. It is a police custody, all get you. Police they take iron, they weapon it, they say it's full. If person it's full, you know all already. You don't go charge and go court, man, go find and get and put us as well. But you take iron, you weapon it. You know the numerous instances we don't see them plenty. But again, we're not going to deviate because what you do, like what Mr. Kuma they say, some of these things people they say are diversional rhetoric. Because big thing there before we this midterm census in issue. Now big thing for the discourse. Now people their attention on divert and rightly so, because a very important issue waiting they happen to LJ because the examples have been here over and over again. And I believe maybe some of you guys will join me today. Then say go out open a little bit on that topic there, and also again buttress or continue the conversation on the midterm census as well, which is very important and it is not the way common program. And for now, we tell authorities and say we are very worried about this midterm census and where the ramifications where you forget. I hope say Famul and go able to join me. I think the number is already up there. It's +44. And you go see him out there. I think Mr. Prince Emin Koba below highlights the big waiting and call. You already there and I take note of him +44. Now I go use the WhatsApp 7740107250. Now the number that one of people call via WhatsApp. For giving our own views and again, when I don't take, let the conversation go far and wide. Over to you, Mr. Prince Emikuma.
Many thanks. And just before I switch over to another guest, we just don't join. We've been present at the protest today in Washington, D.C. I just want to highlight a few things again when Mr. Kamara say, and for apologize to guests them because this program today was actually about census, the midterm census and the results and the repercussions.
Hello, family. I think say, Mr. Go ahead, yes.
Okay, I think we are back. Yeah, briefly,
you're back,
internet in play up. Thank you very much. Just for highlight a few things on the issue. An assault on one, and this should be the maxim going forward, because we lack consensus, and the lacking of consensus is where the problem derives from, in which the very few can play on the many. That when an attack is, when they put an attack on one and we stand back because we say not to we, and then the next time it will be you and there will be no one to defend you. We see I'm in the Kamarimba case, and up to this day I am so upset, I am so flabbergasted that a political party leader is now the charger for alleged penetration. But as we speak today, he is effectively a political prisoner for espousing in political view when the president and in wealth, the first lady who is politically active, no lek. This is the point that this man found himself in jail. Now 3 Christmas now he don't spend, so now the 4th Christmas they come, and there is no iota of evidence that he will be freed except something dramatically happen. In the case of LAJ and Supermetro, what you say, just for speak to what you say quickly, this is clearly a pattern. I think say we don't begin to get call. I need for hurry up with this. This is clearly a pattern now. Waiting is being thrown at the Sierra Leonean people. It's a pattern of violence. And you quite cleverly highlight that, Mr. Kamara. It don't begin today. It begins some time ago. But we need to realize that because we need to calculate the time and the happening and the reasons. We don't. So we need to see them as such. But there's been a streak of violence politically motivated over a considerable period of time to the point where we speak now. I hear another popular artist come out and begin to talk about potentially there could be a psychological or mental problem with LJ. Now, I don't know where he got his qualification from for even intimate that, because it seems like not that is him for the speak to. While potentially there could be a possibility to this, but because to experts, a psychologist, neither a mental, a professional for declare somebody. But yes, I agree. Say you can look at pattern. But we also get for look at the concept of who you they come out from, for let you come an intimacy, potentially, maybe this man get mental problem. Mental problem for speaking out, for singing out. Emerson sings out all the time, and most likely against government, because he's now effectively a revolutionary singer. From a performer of dance music, tutu party, and the rest of it. Now, na political anthem there. Now it is sing about. Having said this, Fambule, let me hear it from with sister quick before we go back to potentially the demonstration today in Washington, D.C. And before I give my sister the platform on waiting happened today, why they decide for good day today, what was the theme, waiting at the demonstration or protest was all about. Now I'll play a quick video from Washington, D.C. as we understand. There was a visit today or protest in front of the Sierra Leonean embassy and the State Department under U.S. police instructions. Let me watch the one video quickly on waiting happened. Okay, now just one video there quickly. And ladies and gentlemen, we get Sister Fatima Conte on the program tonight. And let we be waiting Sister Fatima again for say because she was very present at that protest today in Washington, D.C. But I'm Conte, I haven't seen you in a while, especially on the program or host you for a long, long time. So I'm happy to see you. You look quite well. What really happened today regarding protest na Washington, D.C.?
Thank you very much, Prince. And what I could share with people, and what I could share. Prince, this is my job, and this is what I live for, to defend my fellow human, because I'm an activist and I am a mom, and my whole life is surrounded by people and how to defend people and how to defend the people. And that's my life, because for everything in life, if we take that, without for every man who lives without freedom, the rest of us must face the guilt. Because if I go to bed and I see one man, even Cameron Barr and everybody else, even here in the States or everywhere in the world, I see people perish, I feel that pain. But today, then I decide, to go to DC because LLJ Amadou Ba, it's an advantage that whatever he does, we all have, what's ever happened to him, we all get our own dark side in life. We're not perfect in life. But for take advantage, it's very humane for go cut in here, for do stuff to them. Coming by is there languishing. On and on. The things that will happen in Salon. This should be the end. And today we start this thing today, and we're not going to stop. We are not going to stop, and it's going to go all over, even to London there, all over the world where the embassy is, where Sierra Leoneans live. We're going to protest. Not even Sierra Leoneans, Africans, not even Africans. People that leads humanity, we're going to protest that we
So,
don't
Sister
need
Fatima,
this.
without cutting you, and you have to pardon me for that. So obviously, we know say part of the protest today be include popular Sierra Leonean artist LAJ, but there were other things that you folks went out there to protest about as well. And from your understanding, the bigger part of it was democracy and human rights and etc. You want to
Police
inform family what
brutality.
exactly this was all about?
Yes, police brutality. Justice for everybody. And
Okay.
and human rights. We have the right to speak. Everybody has that right. You cannot take the right to, because you didn't make any human being. We don't know how to make. When the president took that oath, he took an oath to God. He owned that Bible and says, I will take care of the people and their property. That oath he took, it's upon him. That oath he took, it was upon him, because now God, he take the oath too. So he get for answer to God. But we get for do we own part. Now make we go today for make the year we voice and said our voice should be heard, and said enough is enough. We're not going to take this anymore. LJ needs to come out, because we need to see him. And maybe that's why, at the dawn of the day, 5 o'clock, this has never happened. They bring him out, um,
Okay. I think
said,
we've just lost.
yes,
Okay,
I'm
so
here.
you're back
So,
anyway, and I'll just ask you a few questions because I see my phone, yeah, they go off and on with few callers then for today's program. But just few questions for you on this protest here today. When we go do this protest here today, we be able for submit opposition statement. Was there an official of the United States government, from the State Department, because I understand, say, una been there before the State Department, and also from the Sierra Leonean Embassy in Washington. Were you met by anybody, officials from them two departments there?
They yesterday what I did, I sent a letter because um they were closed today. They have federal holiday today in the States, and I didn't know the embassy, Sierra Leone embassy, was closed. But I sent a letter to State Department, and when you send a letter to them, they send a notification that it's received. So I sent a letter to them about this, but it does not mean that they're always open. State Department is always open, but it doesn't. They're not like official. Technically, they're always open. Officially, no. Today, they're there, but they can't receive you. But you can go and demonstrate. They have a camera, and they can see you. So we did what we need to do, and that was fine. But the embassy, nobody was there, and they were calling me from the embassy. They said they don't want me there. The ambassadors call me. They don't want to see me there. They said to come home, and that's a shame. And I says, no, these are my people, and I'm saying that, if they want tomorrow, they can. I don't care. Like I tell them, they don't want me there. They don't want me there. They don't want, and I have to be. These are my people. These are my
Okay.
people.
Okay, Sister Fatima, let we see whether we can get one last word from you before we revert back to we program for tonight. And Fambulen, just a quick one. It's obvious that we get many developments then today, even though we've been promising we want to talk about the census, which is what we are going to talk about. And in a few minutes, I promise when I say we go open the lines. So just one final word on this protest today. What you want to hope for achieve from the protest today? And did you achieve something of this protest on this protest today?
Yes, we achieved a lot because even the police that were there, the police told us it's better. These are the police. They said it is better for you to do a protest, for your voices to be heard. You made your point. And I went back to them and I says, okay, because here it's you have to have a permit and stuff. And I said, we don't have a permit to go to State Department. So what are the protocols? And the guy said, if you see on the pictures, you can see. I took a picture with one of the police, and he says, oh yeah, we can give you an escort. And I said, oh, okay,
Okay.
that's fine. So they did. They gave us an escort. So our voices have been heard. And he said, so
Okay.
I called one of our local TV guy here, some Ford, and I called him. He said, okay, and we're going to do this on Wednesday. We are going to be there on Wednesday. And Prince, let me tell you something. They're not going to, they want us to forget about things that are going, like you said, the census. We are not going to forget. And one thing I want to tell our people back there, please go register and vote. Do not listen to all this distraction. We are here. We're multitasking stuff. We are not going to forget what is going on. We are here. Please register and vote. If you want a change, go register and vote. Anything you want in life, you have to participate. You have to put your hands there. It's a hands-on times. Do what you can do for change. Please go register and vote. We're going to do what we need to do. Our voices should be heard. That's the only way that you can change. That's the only way. Advantage is not going to be done to you guys. Please do what you need to do for change. Do what you need to do for these things not to happen. Please. And I want to let you know, LJ's sister was there, the brothers were there, people travel from all over, London and stuff, and they're going to be there with us again on Wednesday. And people, please come out in numbers. It's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. The message went out, and we thank God for that. And we remember, justice for one, it's justice for all. So we have to fight that. And remember, we're our brother's keeper. What happened to LJ and Cameron Barr and all the other people there, McKinney, massacre, and everything that is happening in Sierra Leone? When you said you're not connected, we're all interconnected in one way. We're all the same blood. So remember that. Remember that. Not say me not to you brother, me not to you sister. It can happen to you, and you expect me for fetch for you. If you not fetch for me today, not expect me for fetch for you tomorrow. Because that's so. One hand, I need to lift the other one up. We get for fetch for each other, for make we country better. Not to say we be one mother for succeed, but you need to help we in any way. It is try for diminish with people and faith. And if we want to sit down, mother go back in second term, when I all don't die down. And that's I get for children. I want to thank you.
Right. That's the voice of Sister Fatima Conte. I mean, making it quite clear. You can't say it better than she did. They expected the current president to succeed. So I believe at some point support was given to the current president. Unfortunately, there is a disappointment at the end. And from what I understand from the sister, it's like register, don't be distracted. Don't be distracted. So I think say we get to a first caller. Let me see. Thank you very much, Sister Fatima.
You're welcome, friend.
Hello, caller.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. Is that you want for contribute to tonight's program on the midterm census result?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Spare me. Stay on the line, sir. Just spare me 10 seconds. So, Fambulem, I think I don't miss 4 or 5 calls, but we go take this first caller and we'll kick him out we'll take him from there. So, my apologies, but because of this new development, of course, the protest in Washington is massive. So, we'll be careful to talk about waiting to go on a free tongue as well with popular rapper LJ. We have to talk about it. These are all news and not to sensational news only, because we talk about substantive news. So anyway, we're back to the census, and I can't let this caller go away. Now we're first caller for tonight. So caller, if you can identify yourself and who you they call from, we go really appreciate that, sir.
Yes, this is Fode Mustafa from Leicester. I think I'm a regular caller now.
Fode Mustafa, yes, I think I recall this. I recall Leicester. Yes. Many thanks, sir. So go ahead, sir.
Yes, I want to give like background about population census in Sierra Leone, because
brilliant. Go ahead, please.
I studied geography for a long period up till Form 6, so I know what I'm talking about. You see, before the war, in 1985, they began a population census. So we have to look at the trend of population censuses in Sierra Leone. Before Kono even gets the highest population in the eastern region. But if you didn't go quite to town before the war, you will say he populated past both town and Kenema. But after the war, a lot of people left Kono. So let me look at the trend, our population census indeed. The southern region will get 21% of the population. In 1985, the southern region will get 21%. At the UNA, these big figures.
Okay.
In 2004, the southern region gets 22% of the population. That's this census we conducted by the SLPP. And in 2000 and the one who will get 2015, the southern region, then it comes again to 20.3%. I hope say when I see the trend of population, even though we know say that human beings they go count and we don't go trust them 100%, but you will see the trend. They need 21, 22, at 20.3%. So you will see say there is not a significant change. Okay. Now we come to the eastern region. The eastern region. The eastern region, because of that mining time, the time we, diamond within a Tongo or no, then we get 27% in the 1985 population census. In 2004, it came down to 23.9. Now we say 24%. And the 2000 and let me just don't. I want you not the exact thing they make una get the trend. 1 minute. The 2015 population census, the eastern region get 23.2. That's even 23.9. That's 2004. Where the SFP conduct a census. I want to see the point. So it reduced by 0.7%. 9 be reduced. So you see the way the census will go. The northern region, if it did 1985, the northern region you get 35.8. 2004, the northern region get 35.1, and 2015, the northern region we still get 35.4. It has not changed from 35, the northern region. So if they tell us, say, the only one way increase significantly for the population because everybody knows that free on people in the go, now increase. Let me show you how Freetown increased, or the western area. The western area increased from 1985 from 15% to 19% in 2004 and to 21% in 2015. And everybody understand why Freetown they grow, without doubt. So you see there was a trend on the population census. So if they accuse, say, I know why they say this, because first of all, everybody knows they don't get anything to do with the salary development, because there's no money to develop the country. Everybody knows that. The main thing about census now for election purposes, because till date why they tell us so the money we give to them, this not June, they don't give them 1 cent. So you don't go tell about development in our census. Okay. And the key is when people now see how the population don't move from 1985 will do. They will tell them, say, make them come out of the country, then they drive them come out of the country. So now this main reason is now call out you now an analysis of population census them put them don't make a salon say this is not the only census would make a significant change to the population. Because if you look at it, the last population within the whole census, the northern province and the western area combined, we get a population of 56.5%. So now they say the population are 50%. So 6.5% of the population don't swing to the southeast. So you see now that this, because if they say that point something in statistics or anything, they say data, then go say plus or minus. You will see, say, it swing. But this significant change in the population for make una just no say this population and housing census is not a contribution for use at all for development purposes. Even for election purposes, they don't use them because it's very clear. Say if there is a change of government, they are going to annul this result where they make a waste of money. So now this contribution now one make into this thing to make una get maybe because people just talk about the population census now and 2000, 95 and 2004. So that people can compare between these 4 censuses, they will not get that alone. We'll see what they change things.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to hold you there. I'll ask you for that. You stay right there, sir. I'm going to play a tape where I've been planned for play by the president, and I want to let you listen to that tape there, and then you come back again and give me an analysis, sir. Okay.
Okay.
Including 2019-2023 midterm national development plan. and the Sustainable Development Goals. Equally, statistical indicators derived from the census will show progress made and challenges to be addressed in the overall development of the country. Therefore, the conduct of this census and results emanating from it should be treated with the utmost sincerity and professionalism. Historically, Sierra Leone conducted its earliest census in 1802 in what is known as the Western Area. This was followed in 1901, the complete count in the Western Area and sample estimates in the provincial areas. Similar censuses were conducted in 1911, 1921, 1931, and 1948. Modern day censuses were conducted in 1963, 1974, 1985, 2004, and 2015. This midterm population and housing census, as with midterm population surveys all over the world, will be conducted this year by Statistics Sierra Leone. It will update and take stock of significant gaps in the 2015 population and housing census. It will also provide reliable baseline data to assess the impact of the government's key development interventions in respect of the medium-term national development plans and the United Nations 2030 Sustainable Development Goals. I am informed that a new and improved methodology, computer-assisted personal interviews, will be used for the very first time to conduct a census in this country. This census will be done at no risk to staff and respondents with respect to COVID-19 pandemic. Fellow citizens, my government has committed 14 billion leones to funding the activities of the midterm population and housing census. The World Bank and the United Nations Population Fund have made significant funding commitments. Other partners have also demonstrated strong interest in supporting this important national exercise. I have been advised by the Minister of Planning
Okay, I want to stop the president in video right there. And it's almost a 6-minute video, and that was about 3.5 minutes of so he left about 30 minutes, about 2 minutes and 30 seconds of but very critical. So one thing I understand from there is and the reason why I ask you for let you stay, sir, because you give me a historical analysis reflecting back whose census begin, the reasons why, demography, whose people and belong, and you even therefore say there will be no development because that's what census is meant to be. But ours is being used for political reasons. But putting the political, act for put the political reasons aside, but the idea now is we are waiting the presidency. One of the things that we didn't tell we is the last census before this midterm census was incorrect, and then we want to correct these anomalies, these mistakes. And these mistakes not be include boundary delimitations and constituency creations. But unfortunately, here we are today, sir, and having listened to the president himself on census, although they read, here from a prompter, I wonder what's your view, sir?
Yes, let me just give. First of all, he said, I underline the word significant, shortcomings of the last census, which for anybody who they listen to him, and anybody who don't follow the census, that word is not correct in that context. Because now, Instead for them to make now so when they say significant, they will agree to that. Number one. Number two, the type of say, well, they make sense of that this year, they make that this year. Me, I'm not one that people in weekend time for listen to this president actually. Because why? I say so. Because first of all, this guy is on the background. He study all within the people of the other people who get that power. That he do all the wrong things. So when he comes that power, what he want to do, now to maybe even worse things than within the people don't. He has to be one. That's what makes him. Because this sense of we know say, no matter unless they say they kill people and for them make the resources would have gone on. Because why? They need the parliamentarian. We know the parliamentary system for letting they pass the laws them, That thing is not going for good chief again, other people that say when I come on a parliament, they'll put other people there. So this is the whole purpose of the Senate. All that we can talk about significance that they make for planning, people and not digital. You use the term digital. Digital now person any put information. Computer when they talk about computer. Now person they put information is a computer. If I say 15, now 15. I go verify in a 15. You cannot verify. So don't count 20 minutes because of this one, because now you go see this census, we don't count commercial now. You go see, if they get for make parliamentary system, you get for be 50-50, not northwest and southeast. So it has never happened. So I go can't tell me you don't correct the situation. So when I just want to see this situation, say, you're not trustworthy, let nobody know. This man, anything he say, when I question that way, he look around on the face and say, tell us something they want not to true. Look, the way you go talk something way blatant and that was really bridge, we go to road. How you go get an international partner talk say they give people the money, they don't eat them. They don't give them money, they don't eat them. Now who come and they can give back money? Project money, they don't give us money. You know that. They don't give money on project money. It's not as you say, oh man, look 50,000 euros. Go buy, go build the bridge. No.
So attempted for ask you this before I let you go, because after all, as a Sierra Leonean, I feel the fury inside your voice, because this is quite, you're like laughing at Sierra Leoneans, them, where other people and they listen, because this is not how the way the international community they operate. So we give them one and they money, they eat them. Well, not a problem. Then we turn around again, we fair money and give another set of people them for the same program. We know this definitely not the way they operate. Why will the president of the republic, and this is not my question to you, feel obliged of himself for kind of public and something and they include onto the realities of life, how these things they happen? Or is it just about speech writing and then just present them a paper and say this is it and you just go and read them?
No, it's not about speech writing. This man in desperation of power. It's not about speech writing.
So you are aware?
You don't see. Yes, you are aware. This man, you are aware of everything that happened. Now, because he want to win power at all costs. Because let me tell you one thing. What I do observe. During the time of Ernest Koroma, me not to be a fan of Ernest Koroma because me, if he promise me something, I don't see him as an economist. I don't see him. You see, he run the country as a business. I don't see it. I was very happy to hear that. He not do him. So I don't see him. So I was not a fan. But Ernest Koroma went to the rule. He not see him. He put so much focus on the opposition, but then Ernest Koroma be doing work and he go campaign for election. He win. But this man, why he do all this here? Because he so no say, he not do better thing. He's quite aware. Because if now all know, they talk about say they not do first year, money not the economy broke, the second year this 2029 is the year of delivery. That delivery day does not come to pass. So you will not say they fall short. So what they do now, making them just lie, even though they don't say not to true. This man don't go to United Nations, go talk say they give $500 million for bikini when they go to school. He just went online. Everybody's like, place that lie. Because everybody don't get that $500 for sending bikini at school. They don't get them to start with. Carry them save them. So see, this man is quite aware of what he do. But now politician, now you get politician, they go stand on the platform to talk, see, They give them money, they don't eat them. They give these people them money, now they can't use money, who don't do them. He knows not to show it be. He knows what he's doing. Anything we look in man to man, say he don't do in manifesto. He don't do them. He knows what he's saying. Not to say he not know what he did. He talk about it, he not write on paper. Like smart with other people, he talks say I don't know in manifesto.
So again, just before I let you go, sir, because now critical points back now you highlight so the language we can use now with local parlance now it try for damu we all as if we are damn fools. You know, we know waiting been there at the manifesto promises. We know waiting he don't do if he has done anything that the manifesto promises. One of the key one is the education side. We get huge question mark, and you just mention them. And anytime when you contribute to this program, you can always mention them. Why does this president feel obliged for team up now public? I not say, you don't try for answer this once or twice by saying now because you want win power. So that's an act of desperation. But in doing so, does he take the rest of the Sierra Leonean people, we all, as idiots? Because you manifesto promises that you don't them the na bonyana idegiwi. Are we idiots or what is it?
Not for you when you know what will happen. Now for the village people, because let me tell you about Salon politics. Salon politics, you know much about ideas. Like when you go to Kelamu, for instance, the court value we don't need the town center when that constitution it has been there. It's not going to change. They don't change for change. So that they talk to because they know say they are going to vote for him though. If they continue to sleep, they not get food for eat, hunger. 2 weeks to election, they still not get food. They're still going to vote for. So now people they talk to, not to people them say, say they know they believe, say they not get what believer. That's the common, the one the way in our cities, the one the way they they are then they are abroad. They know all that now they do so not for we back home. This man they make all this thing for there. He talk to the international community, say now this and this now I don't do. I meet this, the man is talking at parliament or independence day speech where be an independence day speech. Anything we talk, he say more than any other government.
So finally, sir, just for the purpose of time, do you think say he go get away with then things there? I understand what you say, not for me and you. Yeah, go ahead. I think you understand the question.
Yes, if not because I will get away with them now, we win back power. But the only thing will get power back, like say that's what we don't begin now so now people never worry about say the rigging of election. But I think say if they genuinely conduct election, all of this will come to pass, say not succeed for talk, all of those things we try to talk, will will make an impact. But in belief say if he go into the electoral commission, like we don't do so, don't change everybody. And during election result, they able to put 100 there, 500 there, they add all those things, they declare an election victory. That's what he's gone away with it. So that is it. Now the end result, then I get away with that. Otherwise, if they say no more them votes cleanly, I don't think they go win because he knows that they have not performed. He knows.
So we question of the day is, in terms of this midterm census result, do you think that conflict is imminent? Looking at the projection on how things get for go, just like what you say, in the expect say it go do X, Y, Z.
So conflict not for day. Why? Because Sierra Leone, we know say the policeman or sojaman or he work for the government of the day. So they will do all kinds of things possible to make suppress any kind of thing we get for commodity. I don't think there's going to be conflict. But I just know say they know what they want that parliament, even before this results, we know say that just they want PR, proportional representation. Now they want. For a simple reason. Say this free for votes, we they get up to 30%, 35%, they get 60%. Then the problem of this census or any other thing So the core of the matter, because he get people who they support him anyway, Andrew Lavalley, now one of them. I don't try for engage Andula Valley on several fronts then. It make, let's say, deaf. You know, because why I say so? He always a good talk say the population will vote for Mother View parliamentary and SNP APC now about 7,000 votes that are different from. But look at the seat difference, 68 and 49. I tell this man say no. If na parliamentary seat, when they say parliamentary democracy, it can be sponsored by one vote. You win all the system in the end. It no matter how much you beat them. You can beat somebody by 3 votes here, 4 votes here, you win the seat. Look, the England, the past election, the Labour and the Conservative, the difference don't be much in votes, but the seats them, they sweep them.
I keep they say one last question, but this is the final question because this is a conversation where they get with me friends them, and colleague them, and based on what you say, because I get confused in terms of the proportional representation. How does it play to the advantage of the government in power? But you just say something just now. Is it only restricted to Freetown? What about other?
No, it do one thing. There are 3 districts in Sierra Leone where the votes the SNP will always get 20 to 30% of the votes. So if they put proportional there, it will win 60. Come to Cambia. Cambia again, SNP will always win votes than they. But because of the outright seats of parliamentary, they not win seats than they. So now then 3 and Freetown, Western rural and Western urban.
Okay.
He will gain system. So that time the SNP will always get system, plenty system
Okay.
across the country. Because then they get vote them significantly. Way to the south of the country, the APC will ever get 10% or 15% or get seats a day.
Okay.
You see now, it is sweep from the south. We don't see from the south, you can't get some seats them from Koinadugu, Cambia, and Western rural and urban. So if you put them together, they will get system. This is now the bottom line of all anything they will not report.
I really want to say thank you very much because you won't believe this, sir, but you've just provided an insight for me where I don't struggle with in terms of this PR kind of voting system. And now I know say the next time where I sit on a table with my colleague and friends, I've got a strong argument where I will be coming from because you've made it clear to me as to why they are trying to push this proportional representation position. I want to say thank you that every time when you call the platform, you make some meaningful contribution, and thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, again, this is it. We got a few more minutes if you want for call. We've been expect people for call, but of course we digress, we divert into other things than where they happen. You can't blame us, also because we say we talk about this and develop this story, then begin, and then we don't talk about them. So we've been definitely here for talk about them. But we get few more minutes left, not many more left. Few more minutes left. If you want for call for make a contribution, let me know. In fact, let me check the phone. Sometimes we want call they on. Many other calls they can come in and I can miss them. So let's just have a quick look and see whether any other calls. There was a time when I missed over 100 calls, and that was all on WhatsApp. And say when you get called on a normal line, it drown out the WhatsApp call. Unfortunately, there's been no other call on WhatsApp. So maybe this is it for tonight. Okay, that's fine. But we also believe Famulem for contribute to the conversation is actually necessary because just the car they talk so tonight, I can assure you say government they listening. Government is really listening because we are one of the platforms we government they listen to. Not being braggadocio, nor boisterous. It's just it. When people are not, of course, then go begin for lose interest. When people are not they call where you say now for call, and then when the numbers they increase, you say okay, there are few numbers that are listening to them, so they are not of relevance. But we know USA will be come up from a position of strength. That's what we are saying. So we've been to talk about the midterm census and the results. So the president promised we. I go play that last part of in video where we play. The president promised we say then go do the midterm census because them believe say on the basis of the census which they use for win election. I mean, this beggars belief, or there has to be some righteous indignation. Now, because they win the election but not win with a massive vote. Okay, I'm sure this is another caller. Hello, caller. You are live on the TNN TV Media Empire. Your name, where you are calling from, please, and the floor is all yours.
I'm Lawrence Fox. I call from Saloon. I call London.
Hi, Lawrence. It's been a while. I hope all is well. The floor is all yours, brother.
All is well, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I see each of our proportional representation and all that in the day. One of my first take I will look at is like, if Madabio say not trust the census where APC being conduct or with the government of Salon, and they call it APC.
Yeah, Lawrence, yeah, I mean, just on the, if I go back to waiting, you say a couple of things I want to pick on, and I want to begin from the end. Say, we not go allow them for make it can create more seats because after all, the census will bring kind of power. So, even though you intimate on that, why you think say because uh, before I go forward, in fact, enough respect because you are out there doing your own thing and you have been very, very consistent. You are very critical, vehemently critical of this government, and there are lots of people we appreciate that, including myself, because if government do well, then people they need for criticize the government. But if Marabio come now is a one change a census where bring and counter power, I wonder waiting at the mindset. What's your suspicion as political so you're kind of scientist as I'm beginning to see you? Why you think that is?
Yeah. Obviously, the obvious reason is he has failed because he promised the people and become on a platform to promise. So because if you promise the people and you succeed, but another census the you can. So people will gladly for vote for. But Madabio has failed in all of. Okay, all will be fallacious. I will say most of what he promised. He was coming on hospital, eats the money. We been careful again. There is police brutality all over the country. They will happen to LG. Another young man, but we don't say negotiated settlement with Madabio, so we don't talk about the one. This crisis now we bring to LG, so that's the ones. But the riots there, on our way, they don't pull in country. But the point are we even part of the make is one, because we can come in front of like brutality, you come in front of harassment and intimidation. So I know more able peace. I know more able peace. I know more any free that kind of tickets they come on. Yeah. So now a car with this census, they only take out our proportional representation. And these are not in our constitution. These are entrenched clauses. You know, entrenched clause. When you want change voting right now, saloon, not to parliaments no more, because that is thing that we might have a mistake. It's not parliament that have that right. elected bribing parliamentarian, they cannot vote for that kind of bill. It's an entrenched clause. Now, when the people get for accuracy, you want a simple majority. Now, when the people get for accuracy, want a proportional representation. Now, because they don't create so many figures like your territory where it belongs to. Because listen, who statistics will tell me say? Who statistician will tell me say? Yeah? You get 50% increment in another area just like that. It's not 50% increment. That means you get for housing, it means you get hospital we don't build, it means you get compensation transformation from Freetown to then kind side of it. They're not possible in village. No city not they do with the big pass. The city who sign at the metropolitan, we get investors and all that. And no city not the none at this world. So how the southeast go big pass Freetown win at the metropolitan city really encourage diversification. We anybody who want to go and salon the first time they want to go Freetown.
Lawrence,
Yeah.
that sounds technical of you, and let's talk about some technicality about this midterm census, because that's really technical, and this is the case where we need for the make in terms of technicality about the census. Now, waiting can make people kind of migrate. And the reason why I ask this again is like Freetown is the most attractive. Freetown in population not swell up. There are no famines anymore. People are leaving the hinterlands for the capital city. So there is a lot of people who don't understand this census results will come out, although there are deep suspicions. But sometimes you can back the suspicion with some relevant facts, if not completely, but have a fact. But in this case, it seemed like there is a mismatch altogether, Lawrence. What's your view?
It's mismatch in terms of like
Freetown.
If you look at
go on. Sorry, I should say you not being any question. Yeah, go on, please. Sorry.
Yeah. So if you look at like no just in Manchester and London, I talk to the one with the Britain, or I talk to the one with the Salon. What think Bo will get or Kenema will get be more attractive than Freetown? Don't begin for find answers to these questions. And if you look at statistical data, statistician will tell you, say, you see that 5% or 10% plus or minus, give and take 1%, 2%. When it's not 50%, that's alarming. That's very, very alarming. Technicality, 50%. That means say majority of the people that we then are Freetown and they migrate go so that Kenema or Bo and Kailau and Kono.
Fox, forgive me for budging in, because I really not be want to interfere. I be want to let you flow, but just for the benefit of the audience, just waiting. You see, like the population they flow towards the other side. So my question again it go be, waiting will make population flow to another side. For example, we know why population they come out Kenema, Makeni, Bo, Kailan, Kono.
Freetown.
We know.
I understand. Yes, no look and say waiting down. They say waiting the attack Freetown for Guna also.
Yeah.
We don't get new investors that we call. Do we have any investors that much? No. Marabio cancel. That puts up to Marabio now say cancel a lot of contract. We drive investors away. I know that's way back when you do so. You go back the here, they drive investors away. Because Miguel Rasta go say Salon and capture when they go cut me here. We na investor frown here and they can't listen. So men are telling me say Bo Kenema Kailan when Puche when Kono, they don't get new investors there we attracted 50% because that's what they're saying. 50% of the northwest will go to the southeast. We to me to you, not see that kind of visibility there. Bo Kenema Kailan, they don't get electricity pass Freetown. Bo Kenema Kailan will not get new job opportunities we pass Freetown. Bo Kenema Kailan will not get industries the way they make we see. We may have food Bo Kenema Kailan for go find job. Farming, whose kind of farming we then get so we don't see the production. Because the production they talk about, so they talk about rice. The rice production they talk about, so it don't stall because they don't get money for pay for the investors. Bo Kenema Kailan, they don't get new schools the way they build or universities. They show almost percentage. Now make I say 50% is alarming. Very, very alarming. Am I making sense? For the people that left the Freetown, the metropolitan city of Freetown, they migrate 50% of that population there. They look at the other variables back at the census where they see. Who's how you sleep and they count you. So I go count somebody with, if I go Manchester, like I go Manchester funeral, then count. So to Manchester day, am I the population of Manchester? No. They go ask me so you come out. I go say, no, I didn't Lusham, I didn't Tapo. I didn't have this. So they go to see me number and Lusham, I didn't increase. And that kind of thing. So the census is not for development purposes. The census is not for purely for waiting political purposes in which SLPP they want for benefit more. And so million can agree for the people that begin to talk about census. We don't have a census. The census is illegal. You don't say the census is illegal. We're going to reject.
Lawrence, I want to let you stay on the line because I want for let me get another view. Stay on the line. Let me just answer this call. Sure, say one contribute. Hello, caller. Hello.
Yeah, hi, Prince.
Yeah, hello. Do you want to contribute to the program, sir?
Oh, definitely, Prince. I'll go ahead for contribute.
Okay, if you can just state your name and who side you call from, the floor is all yours.
But the way the situation of the planet, I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry.
That's all right. And what's the name again, please?
Ahmed.
Okay. You call from London. The number look like London.
Oh yes, not to look like the call from London.
Okay. Yeah, the floor is all yours, please.
May God help winners alone. But the census multiply. We income in the middle of Corona. We hardship day. We light no day in the country. What time no day? If Mother Bill's government be really serious for help with the Syrian people left, then we don't take that money there and invest them for light or water. Please, we sorry. Water surround the whole of Salon. We not get water. Most of the diseases, sickness, they would again a Salon and water problem. And this self-interest and arrogance of the SLPP of Mother Bill, I don't know who say they think say they're hook on, because dialogue with your opponents there, dialogue with your people there. But when Bill they talk to we, as we owe, let's say that in great people have been buy salon and gear, and this now don't bring in downfall. Bill can talk to we like say we not don't them. Well, he might be the biggest don't. If Bill all what he do, he promise, he do he go sit down at the wall, say each and every parent, he don't save them for making no spend $500. If that's true, may God make me Bill succeed. If not so true, hey, Bill in a family, they're not they ever enjoy that money. Because there are people out there struggling, big brother. There are people there that the vengeance way SLPP count, now make them not succeed so. And when you talk to SLPP person, even though it is see the truth, it is tell you say, ain't no care. That tell you say self-interest, na in people like Abopa. And that's a shame. How do you go turn around, tell we say, he don't solve all what he been promised? They are ask small picking back. Light then a salute, he go tell you say light for day. Water then a salute. Can the guy be ashamed of himself for once? This not about you anymore. It's about you and I for make us stand up. Salon people are too comfortable. We need to stand up, no violence, and they beg everybody, because now this they want, may they stage manage, may they count, may they count emergency something, help me, state of emergency. When they count state of emergency, then they prolong the whole election, because they know say they don't fail. So all the strategy them, the styles them, they don't fail. But we the salon people them, more register, more all the peace, we don't suffer 11 years war. Some of who grow up now the war, what you know now war, who traumatized onto this time. They know they ever call you now, Brother Prince, say good stuff. Investor don't can as a working place, they not open. All the way they call you na disaster, trouble at the country. And always matter you get money for fly, go and parabolate all over the world. Take their money, then they invest them by the light. The guy don't know politics, he don't know for campaign. I don't know the way then they advise them. How they can talk to them politicians there. And the so-called other politicians there, who say me blame them, right? If the census is not right, take the government to the court. More gonna court. Will not say the court crooked. But you come to APC, REF now, NGC, all the other parties, all what they want, may they not church man be more go to election. The constitution they know say is wrong, but they just want me to be a desert. I'm not going to blame them that part because there is no trust. The trust is failed. If policeman they go talk say, no police not get right for make them bab somebody. Policeman they can't turn around say no. Now new law will implement. You hold 7 people there. You release 1 person. The 6 they bab the 8 there. Wait, they can't tell who say the person want kill himself with in dreadlocks. Come on, so full of born picking. Well, sometimes I don't know what school these guys attend. I don't know. Them days are done. Those colonial days.
So the president may say then, and the president they say now that now for the APC be make mistake with the census with the hold, and that mistake the way they make now immediately try for correct, even though now the data now he use for win an elections. But if they say there was an error then, and he be one correct that. So now I make a call for a midterm census. Where do you stand with that, sir?
It's a lie, Brother Priest. I'll tell you one thing. During the war, right? You see the first analyzer, the guy from Leicester. Most of the way he analyzed the census IBD, it was right. Right? The population of Kono will overcome the whole of Salon. Right. If during the war, the way the Southeast destroyed, it would take ages for make most of their city then they town they come to town again. Think about who said they destroy. Whose population where they did? The population are east of Freetown, from Calbata to Grafton. If Coopers go where they go Kenema. Remember that if Madam Bill got enough internationally, say he don't save each and every parent $500, equivalent to $500. We will not say a lie. Hey, Brother Prince, if you hold you ballot my book now for vote, no side to go put up. Man, no go tell you again.
Okay, so in any case, the president don't go to parliament. They don't table this request for a midterm census. The midterm census, despite all the description, we don't hear the results. Who's you think say we did now and waiting at the way forward?
The way forward now, yeah. We just get for all the peace.
So that mean whatever case we do, Bio is a winner. Bio is a winner then. But the idea behind the census, if I listen to you proper and get you, it is clearly towards Bio in advantage. And the idea, according to you again, that we not get good lawyer them, independent lawyer them, it means say waiting Bio want will prevail. Did I read you right, sir?
Yes, because in the first instance, Bio Wosai would tolerate him. Abbas Bundu, in Sidon one at that parliament, it was wrong. Usemobia. Because I don't go pull myself there. I'm a Sierra Leonean. The MP there, they moved them. Usemobia, for the sake of peace. Most of the things that Biogo na Panama route, he go kill the Usemobia. Biogo Makeni, he go kill the Usemobia. Biogo na Inchuan, he go kill the Usemobia. So at the edge in our world, where in all full 1 year again, there is nothing we can do.
So elections as well, una go get for beer. Not so, sir?
No. Now you make references, keep the peace.
I don't understand. Let me for understand before I let you go. In other words, killings happen at Pademba Road and many other things. The other people that will not agree with the presidency make we beer, which means to me the president gets away with that, and that includes the census where people like you and others not agree with, but in the interest of peace, etc., it's like let we beer. So that beer day means say the president gets away with almost, if not everything, and therefore 2023. There's not much that's going to happen. The president is going to be returned.
Well, no. Now the point is was the people's power have to speak up.
How?
The people's power to vote him out. And now the team is acquired the struggle. You and I will go talk now, we will speak up, we will say we might for save the rest. But we are the other political leaders to come out and stand up, and they have more voice than you and I, but they are not doing it.
Okay.
Hypocrisy.
So if they're not doing it, and this is my point, Sir Ahmed, if
that's why you and I, we are speaking out now. We are speaking loudly for everyone who's supposed to learn. Let them learn.
Okay. Points well taken. Any last word, quickly?
The only thing we made to say at the big you now or all we the civil unions them. More they take records, more test the water, even the courts, when Madam you don't kidnap the courts, more votes, make people and grab, make them go to court, make them teach, make them don't do for reference.
Okay.
But no.
I agree.
No, with all this thing, you and I go one for 12, but we don't get the money. Where the politicians, the way they don't enjoy during unexpected corona time or wasting one power onto this time, where are they?
So I think again on this basis, I will get for on this basis, Brother Ahmed, I will get for left you, but I must tell you, say you make quite a brilliant point, and I can feel the frustration at your voice. Where are those who made money, those prominent politicians? Where are the people who are they stand with the people? And how do we get away from waiting the people and definitely they begin for feel? Thank you very much, Brother Ahmed, for this contribution. Very valid contribution.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay, Fambulem, we come towards the end of this program. Lawrence Fox, if you still listen, give me a call again. I would like for end this program with 1 or 2 questions for you. So if you're listening, give me a call. In the meantime, make I play the president in speech again regarding the census. Because the thing here is, most of we can forget. Just we they keep an archive of program them. And I want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much. Lawrence, hold the line there. Hold the line there, please. Thank you so much to SLBC and by extension all Sierra Leone MMTV and by extension SLBC. The video they are valuable, they're historical, and then some of we archive them. Lawrence, I'm going to play the president in audio. In video, and I want to let you listen to that, and I want to let you use your analytical skill, analyze that for we before we close the program. Yeah. No worries at all. We don't play a force. I go play again.
Economic development on the state of
the latter part. I'm in the place of I stretch back a little bit.
Therefore, the conduct of this census and results emanating from it should be treated with the utmost sincerity and professionalism. Historically, Sierra Leone conducted its earliest census in 1802 in what is known as the Western Area. This was followed in 1901 with a complete count in the Western area and sample estimates in the provincial areas. Similar censuses were conducted in 1911, 1921, 1931, and 1948. Modern day censuses were conducted in 1963, 1974, 1985, 2004, and 2015. This midterm population and housing census, as with midterm population surveys all over the world, will be conducted this year by Statistics Sierra Leone. It will update and take stock of significant gaps in the 2015 population and housing census. It will also provide reliable baseline data to assess the impact of the government's key development interventions in respect of the medium-term national development plans and the United Nations 2030 Sustainable Development Goals. I am informed that a new and improved methodology, computer-assisted personal interviews, will be used for the very first time to conduct a census in this country. This census will be done at no risk to staff and respondents with respect to COVID-19 pandemic. Fellow citizens, my government has committed 14 billion leones to funding the activities of the midterm population and housing census. The World Bank and the United Nations Population Fund have made significant funding commitments. Other partners have also demonstrated strong interest in supporting this important national exercise. I have been advised by the Minister of Planning and Economic Development on the state of preparedness for the midterm population and housing census this year. Statistics Sierra Leone has commenced preparatory activities.
Okay,
including the
I think say we don't hear enough of what the president they talk. And to be honest, there is plenty of disappointment, but we have to leave it there for the general public. So the president said a lot that the tape not even finish. One of the things then we say is 14 billion leones. Now in government don't commit to the process. Imagine 14 billion leones, not a small money, that can do a lot. That can build a new hospital, by the way. But they commit to the census. The World Bank itself, according to the president, makes some commitment, but that commitment was never met because the World Bank pull out from the. Before I go further in analysis of the president's speech regarding census, Mr. Fox, the census is normally referred to as the people's census, and there's a reason why. It seems like the SLPP missed out of this altogether, and all what in the presidency, it seemed like he was completely out of touch. Your view, please.
No, but the outside way they go wrong. They come. Madam, be honest with they do not talk and do, and they know what they do. Like this LJ issue, they put on us. So it's Madam be want a conflict situation. They look at possibly influential, create the conflict so that they will negotiate in way, and it's going to be possible. I like that side first. And number two,
when you say Lawrence, forgive me. When you say you keep using this phraseology, negotiating way, I'm a bit lost. Can you explain to the public and myself what you mean?
Sorry, sir. Madam, you know say you don't commit crime against humanity in a salon. Going to Paremba killing people is a crime. Sakila Yatelopias, without all its reports, is a crime. It's millions of dollars going to crime. So now, Madam, you don't enjoy that privilege where you don't overthrow the government, then negotiate in way, it go scot-free. $80 million, remember Samoa Kabara tell me, I not did it. Or for me, I say with him, $80 million, the chief family go free, then I'm say, okay, go Madam, you okay, forgive you. Any court's not going for trying. Now that kind of same situation they want now for make it gets the power for make them say, okay, but that'll be okay for peace sake. These people not get peace sake. is a democratic leader. He has to conduct an election. We don't say get for lost election. We don't get for negotiating way. We get for arrest him. We get for answer to these crimes he's committed against the people of Sierra Leone. I think I don't really need to rest. Like to the census. I'm not sure for Angosa. To this census, Mother did justify that action of we thief. Gonna thief then thief almost billion so. The census is flawed because the instrument was not laid in parliament. So as long as parliament, listen, when you say president nominees, you get a total authority or total power. No. Parliament gets, government or president get what they call checks and balances. You can forget the parliamentary approval because I did the majority of the people in the saloon. Our representative then did it. I mean, therefore consult we, then go to parliament, they get an agreement. So parliament rejects the census. The 13 political party reject the census. That don't become illegal. You know what I mean? Because the matter bill, the president of Salon declare, say, no, that is illegal. Because if you want to make it legal, you have already instrument of parliament. Parliament debates them. Don't like the money in a salon. Illegal send away the mix. That money is illegal because they're not the instrument of parliament for the parliament discuss about that money. So that money is not Sardinian money. It's illegal for reject them at all forms and shape. But Mother Ben officers are not a dictator with not a dictatorship with their own. Now look at World Bank, look at the European Union. Yeah, they tell you then they pull out of the census. Why? Because then she say the technicalities were never followed. Technicalities in terms of the staff were not trained, the staff were not qualified, they're not properly trained for me to go about the census. Okay, not play the devil advocate. No agree, okay. They follow all the instruments. Now they say people that do use for the counted. How much people they use for the counted? How much percent them will tell me? Because they say the census is so powerful that when they go to the area, they for sure we say 10,000 people they will not counted, but we'll put them back to the zero. Some people in the way they refuse for the counted. Masala Samba said not counter. What's that name?
Femi Claudius School and not Femi Claudius School and not Contam. Dr. Sandy JPJ and not Contam. I mean, very prominent people, and they are not APC. Because part of the arguments that they try for make is like only APC boycotted or APC people. But these are not APC people. Marcela Samba is not APC as far as I know. Femi Claudius School is not APC as far as I know. Many others I can name.
No, okay, no, I agree with the variables. Okay, yes, people in the middle not count. How much people are not count? So they're also part of Sierra Leone, or then they tell me say Fatima Bay, they tell me so we know there's SLPP not to Sierra Leone. So they figure that they tell me so now. If you're not counted, you're not Sierra Leone. So now that face that in the reality would face that. Am I making sense? So if I dispute the conversation now they tell you say these people want negotiated settlement. And this time more confidence for Kawa. They want to create more. And they create more threat to election. Madam, you don't want to conduct an election. Because Madam, you know, so you conduct an election, you get for loss. They get for arrest them. Because this people, big business for them. Madam, you know, they threat to me again. It's not possible. They don't threat to people and so much. They threat to me again. They are above that rubbish pay. It's a silent thing. We're going to stand up for it. That census day, we're going to accept them, we reject them.
And yes, and down there now I want to ask you about the technicality of it, where you say they reject them. So to the people of Sierra Leone who are listening and subsequently we get for listening, where you say they reject them, because obviously it's a legal document or process that has to be followed by the process of legality. So who's exactly within now? We know say then get for go through a process, gazette them before it really become a legal instrument. Where are we exactly, folks?
So the first instrument says the first parliament to accept them first. So as long as parliament not accept them first, it become illegal. Number two, if NECO accept them, it's still illegal. Because parliament not accept them, number two. Number three, now they want to create proportional representation because they don't say they're going to create figure on their own side. Parliament not going to power for alone for creating proportional representation. Remember, I go where parliament is paid money. We get what they call entrenched clause. When you want change, I'll tell you about it's about simple majority.
Yeah.
Simple majority proportional. With constitution tell about simple majority for parliamentarians. So now if you want change, then the for council, we the people never will agree. Then we council presidential, we talk about 55%. We the people never agree. So but you create so much. Sorry, I don't want to use that word in the program, sir. But you only get team force. Also, you want to force illegal. Whether parliament vote for or not, we the people are saying no because it's illegal. They have to come to us for us to agree. And it don't reach the time frame for me to just cancel we follow agree. because like referendum, somebody's referendum, entrenched clause like referendum. They put because that's a sensitive issue when it comes to representative of parliament. And they put on to make you understand because I don't know the people who advise them the legality. The legality side put on to and say, you have to come first at parliament. I mean, not to parliament, we the people are for agree. Does that mean we can for agree say no one simple majority. We the people agree say one proportional representation. You understand it? So first of all, parliament don't get a power therefore. So let the bribe parliament today, the bribe and tomorrow. And when they talk so they don't forget 2/3 majority first. 2/3 a big bill. So the 3 parliamentarians are not vote for that bill, they will reach 2/3. The bill become illegal.
But Lawrence, what you don't understand about this bribery, and not a commonplace now in society. But this parliament will soon become redundant, and probably a law will put a conservative figure on the number. 50% will not be returned. So now, who's can bribery they get for bribe them? Because you can come and give them physical cash, but what we talk about is not physical cash. Now, then when they will get for left na parliament, how for sustain them, and the benefits the way they get for. But if 50% is not going to be returned, how are they going to be part of this? This prospect of accepting the president in value or waiting the president wants, where supposedly they will not be returned. I don't understand this. Make me understand, but.
Understand this, like now with the parliament is so you get a total majority. So now if you want to do a total majority, you get 50, you get 2/3 majority. I get for vote for that bill before so make it become a law.
Yeah.
And not to that 2/3 this put the people away for vote. With the people in the parliament they debate some, then they still vote for it, they go cancel. With the people involved who agree, so okay, no one and simple majority. Because I get for convince you. It's a long, big process. For change the voting pattern, not to parliament get for agree. And with the people in. Can I call that entrenched clause? Am I making sense? Entrenched. So therefore put a ballot box for so all of the country vote. With the people in vote, so like I wish I can still one change and say, yeah. So Tamawi don't take 10 years that parliament can be president. It's an entrenched clause. Then we cancel, we vote. Simple, we agree for Shaka Stevens to become president of Sierra Leone. So that the same thing about about democracy, he has to bring it to us, to people, not to parliament too. Because these are very, very serious things that we can create conflict in society.
Yeah.
So they make her entrenched. So they will say family meeting. Every family member for the will say will. Anybody will be there that will stay. Like a dog, for sending a representative, the woman can sit down, no man believe say. And I can trench clothes. So matter you, it's why they make sure they make like a say, it's just the waste resources. Think he's gonna bribe parliament, think he's gonna bribe parliament does not have that power. No matter you get a hostile DNA. We're going to reject it as a people. We stand.
So let ask you this quickly, Lawrence, as we quickly run out of time. The president, obviously, with this idea, then we usually talk about bribery, quite a strong word, but it is true in many respects. It only use them for the past 4 years, and largely it only get away with them up to a point where it seems like if you don't get away with something, you begin for believe that it work for you. Is there any difference between the then and the now? And what do I mean by this, Lawrence? If the president be the use the aspect of bribery,
understand the then and the now, so I don't know which the term then and the now. The then,
yeah,
because these are not entrenched clause, are not serious matters. They therefore go to court of law for determination. Am I making sense?
Yeah,
so
they follow.
Sorry, it gets away with then. Putting 10 parliamentarians to get for Abu Pan, the court for decide. It gets away with then. We're having some laws then, it gets away with then because they just need simple majority. Am I making sense? Yeah? Which one I go say a simple majority we need? Like the census now, it be one lady instruments and maybe for layer. So then they first don't make the census for illegal. They want to come to my, want to come next to my, the census was illegal. So it the 10 minutes some people that talk about census. We don't even have a census. The census that we have is 2015. Am I making sense? So you're not even for it, and then for the instrument first. So that control the contact tips money, they get for giving that money the back. So we don't get the instrument, they just can't say it. Then the now, that's everybody now. Now go make a PowerPoint, normal PowerPoint, we'll do it don't make sense. To it don't make sense as we're not legal first. It's not legal, we reject that first. We're not going to accept it. And number two, if you want to go table on a parliament, Parliament will accept them because first
Why
of all,
why do you say the census is illegal in the first, I mean the midterm census? Let's be specific. The president declared a midterm census, go to parliament. We have ifs and buts and Sylvia Blinding being questioned that the president gets a right for going to parliament for go make a midterm census and not be follow the procedure or the term limit they expire. So therefore, it being therefore come back again for can lay am. But the question here, Lawrence, does the president he get the right for declare, because now the first thing now they for declare a midterm census? Forget about the procedure first of all. Does he have the right?
No, he does have a right to declare a midterm census.
Okay, let we agree on that. So we agree on that. So if he has the right, Lawrence, 1 minute.
Right to declare.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much for that. So we just want to specify that quickly before we end this program. The president get the right for declare a midterm census. So the president on that basis, they go to parliament, although we know say a flounder with the way how we go about even the term limit expire. So it began for come back again because they get for gazette all them program. But he get it right. So he declare them. So you keep the say it be illegal. So if you get the right for declare, why do you say the census declaration was illegal?
Because the only the instruments that parliament, remember I've been somebody that effects they're not going to go to.
Yeah.
Remember? They're going to parliament, I mean not to parliament to Leamo, sorry, been somebody, they call immediately. People they reject her, they refuse.
Because at the time parliament been closed, so they agree say then go whole session. I mean there was a consensus, if I can remember that well.
But the point where they make a big point to say.
Okay.
He laid the event and only and properly. Because listen, if you for married 3 o'clock, you married 4 o'clock, your marriage is illegal.
No, Lawrence, I go challenge you on that. So if you're married 3 o'clock, according to everything about the marriage, but then 4 o'clock. But the people that will make the law self can look at the technicalities of why.
No. Listen, excuse me. If the law said 3 o'clock, there's only pollution 1 minute after 3. 1 minute after 3 is illegal.
No, but the same law. No, what are the time for saying, Lawrence?
Lawrence, make it legal. The legality is, excuse me, sir. The legality is before 3 o'clock if you're not married. So if you married 10 minutes after 3, they don't care with the circumstances. The law are the law.
Lawrence.
The law are the compromise.
Lawrence. On the basis of technicality, which I think say you're driving towards, I want for challenge that view there, because the law will say you for marry 3 o'clock. If you don't marry 3 o'clock, we go make the marriage null and void. The idea that the marriage went along, because remember I said there are preparations along the way. The people that we get for officiate, there is an officiating ceremony, all border on that time in day. So there would have been a caveat around if you're not happy 3 o'clock, why not happy 3 o'clock? So that can be accommodated.
Let me ask you why, because the law, listen, the law has no respect of persons. The law don't care about why not happy. The law care about if you're happy.
No, it's not about Lawrence. It's not about persons. The law itself can be wrong. Now it make lawyer then they go to court and argue and win. Now it make person kill.
Listen. Dependent on there's a lot of, if the law get flexibility, say then the law will must give 10 minutes after.
Absolutely. So that's the flexibility. Lawrence. You just made my point. So there is a flexibility in the law, because when the law is made, it sounds like a sacrosanct, but instead of getting if and in but. Now, in many cases can be argued in court.
I make it all state and say 3 o'clock.
But you can still go to court and go.
Okay, I agree still.
Yes, exactly. But you can still go to court and go argue, say, but I mean, they come, emergency begin that road.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, anyway, go ahead.
It took it to Paramount, which I can't call him. He not able to forget the instrument was not properly laid. Because they never get the maze. We will make the law work, the maze for the day. The maze law have been so many hotel that fet. But I be bulldoze away, like I said, the 10 now, bulldoze away, say, well, I don't come up before me, I don't get away with this, I can do them back. People they pull out from the census and say, no, this one, so no, you don't get all the criteria so necessary. He bulldoze back into it. So let's agree, they don't go count. But Parliament not be agree. So what's the going now before Parliament for the Parliament Act? Because the instrument, first of all, was not legal. So what's they surround the census is not legal. So say the can't tell me about see proportional representation. They're all not legal. So these languages are not legal. And if they want to change any figure, really relates to proportional representation. Because then like they can't change the law because the law says for parliamentary a simple majority. Proportional representation was done in Sierra Leone during the period of the Rebel War because they don't forget access to some areas. Then they use proportional representation. But Salon Constitution don't make proportional representation. Simple majority for parliamentarians, 55% for president. So for change that in an entrenched clause, big man. Because get for order around the people them the right as to who they want for choose. So not to somebody they can change in the middle of the game, not to parliament say they change that this.
Okay, Lawrence. Lawrence. Finally, we get about 3-4 minutes on the for end the program. With all said, now Usai we did now, what's the way forward? And what do you envisage Usai all of this get for end, or what do you get for lead towards?
Now the people we the people we don't care about the political party we talk about with parliamentarian they want to go vote for. We are going to say no to it. We're going to stand up against Madabio in dictatorship. We're going to stand up against Madabio in negotiated settlement.
Where you say we, Lawrence? Is that something? Is that some 1 minute, Lawrence? Is that something that you hope for, or is it already organized, mobilized?
I'm not saying they happen.
Okay.
If it's possible, we'll go down there for those sacrifice with life. Madabio not fit to say I get salon. Salon belongs to all of us. I don't mama and papa them come out. Doesn't matter if you get salon. Now that's the feel. Not so matter if you in people and get salon. Now we all get salon. We have a right to salon. We have a right. The big matter be cancelled, promise we deliver. Hey, we ain't enough for the chocolate and talk. I praise you for the presence. Us a democratic ticket. If you promise us you're going to deliver us, you have to provide the thing for me to glad shit about the try for. When they come, you can't see for money. They think to see for kill you. When they come, you can't see for money. You think for put you in prison. When they come, you can't see for money. You think so for shut up. When they come, you can't see for money. You think so not for sin. If we carry go to Benghazi, they don't get Benghazi now for the cut people there. Yeah, cut people like just like the Hebrew war. They can't bring the Hebrew war. I think about it all. You don't come, you can look at some other camera, we're not involved in something. You can't go courts, they make rubbish at the place, man. That is rubbish, that is uselessness. And we're going to stand up to his dictatorship. We're going to stand up to those who are responsible for that dictatorship. We're not afraid Nazi. Remember that you get our DNA. Not we're not fight for APC or SLP or nobody. We're fighting for the people of Sierra Leone. And the people of Sierra Leone voices must be heard, must be respected. Their views must be listened to.
Okay, Lawrence.
If you don't see them for perform,
go on.
The last one, if you don't see them for perform, back out and go. No can change the rules in the middle of the game. Don't think Papa get salon. Don't think Mama get salon. We all get salon. Salon for we all. And respect the human right. We get a constitution and it's an entrenched clause. So you don't bribe a politician. You go to parliament. You don't bribe not for we. It doesn't make sense. You reject the census in all entirety. We're going to reject it. It's going to go to people. They tell them say we know they accept that kind of census. We're not going to accept it. We're going to challenge it. That point is the matter of the message.
Lawrence, I wish for bring you back shortly. Because there is so much we need to talk about away from what we talk about tonight. Because of your brilliance and what you just say, can we just get one, 60 seconds, 1 minute closing?
Yeah, okay. In terms of
just generally anything.
Yeah, generally, the closing will be like the people of Sierra Leone, therefore, stand up for their rights. That's what they tell them so. They're not for afraid. Because I don't say Madabio now don't turn the place into a killing field. That's killing every day. That bad news no more the year, not so any good news. That's human rights violation. People will be patient because we say Madabio wants a pure violence. So that's a negotiating way. We'll be peaceful. We just respect the law. We will allow them to misbehave like how they misbehave. So no 1 year to the term. You know, if I June by now, Madabio would tell them like I would be tell I would be small. I was a kid who would tell Madabio, so we go vote. Fatima, if you don't understand it, Fatima, you get this Nigerian, they say, we stood up against Madabio, you're gone. And the pure soldier, my weather green. We go vote because now we get democracy. We're going to stand up for democracy. We're going to fight for democracy. We're going to die for democracy. That is a country. It belongs to our people, not to Madabio get out. And they can't thief we. That's right. You know, they can't thief we. They can't kill we. They can't imprison we. They go create Benghazi. see, therefore quietly, not possible. We're going to stand up for our rights. But if you 10 years, they go able to be issue, but not able to be people of Sierra Leone. Because we're going to reject them. Therefore, they will sit in the way no ever see it at this wall. They say they're going to wake up, they're going to wake up and already fly. They say, no, they talk here, a bad guy. Not over we don't see gunshots. And somebody will tell me, say, you don't see gunshots? I don't see gunshots. You don't see whether they bonus. You don't see whether they cut people in hand. You don't see whether they put people in jail. You don't see whether they light people in hand. I don't see them. People don't say, we don't see them. That make me patient. We look at like I say, we don't see them. Don't think we're fools. We're not fools. We're Sierra Leoneans, and our rights must be respected. Our views must be, like how Pakaba respect them. Like how, what's that guy name? President Kuma be respect them. But if you don't want to respect them, we go give back. And right now, we don't trust you again for governing. We don't trust you because you're a human rights violator. You're a human rights abuser. Make it get on DNA. And we're not scared. We're not scared. I don't say people say, come on, I don't miss yourself. They say, if you cannot serve me, I don't afraid nothing in this world. Nothing. That's an afraid. I will lead the revolution if it's possible. I'll come to Sierra Leone myself. I lead the revolution with the people of Sierra Leone. If you can't follow unseat you, we're going to unseat you. Because you're not democratic. You're a human rights abuser, human rights violator. At that point, they more left today.
All right, Lawrence. I mean, beautifully said, beautifully made. And I want to say thank you very much. A very, very precise, concise, and very profound end to this particular program. And thank you very much, Lawrence. I'll be in touch soon.
Thank you so much for keeping me.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anyway, Fambulen, we've come to the end of another brilliant conversation. And like we say, a participatory democracy is one that we all need for the participate part. We don't have to necessarily agree. We can disagree. But the idea is we have a common denominator in our country. So somebody they look at the country from one end, I'm looking at the country from another end, and the way I would see and make we disagree. But I shall say because now the common denominator, the only country where we get, it make we kind of they make the same argument but from a different perspective. Fambule, will not forget, there are new programs coming up. We get, for example, on the 22nd, which is 2 days from today, we get a program they come on, which is at some point, we can clearly say this from the statistics and data from the World Health Organizations and other major organizations. The indices be all point to Sierra Leone in terms of pregnant women. We belle woman them. It's like saying I've been a country with a death trap for belle woman them. So we do a program on that and see whether that narrative has switched or don't move or don't change. So that's on the 22nd. Not forget for tuning and not forget for tell good friends. We also get another program that come up in which we look at female genital cutting, which man call them mutilation. Because people do not agree with the mutilation, they say no to mutilating. Whatever the case, we go agree on cutting. So that program they come up. Not forget for share the idea. And away from that, many things don't happen during the last 4 years. We'll have a retrospect in which videos, newspaper clips, sound bites, ministers, ministries, directors, managers, within a say trade or within the papers been say trade, we go try for begin for bring them back. COVID-19 funds that were given to us, corruption. Francis Ben Kaifala things that he said, money that he make, what he presents to the government, what he present to the president, what in them he say then go do with them money then they not happen. Well, them program the day they come. But for now, we want to say thank you to all the one that we tune in to the TNN Media Empire. We listen to this all important program. We've been expecting many calls, but obviously I miss about 4 or 5 calls, which is significant because we've been to talk about the protest will take place today at Washington, D.C. But never mind. We appreciate all the people that we call on the platform today. I have been your host and presenter, Prince Emil Kroma. They tell Una thank you very much for tuning in. Until we host other program in 2 days' time, thank you so much for tuning. And please spread the good news to other people. Despite we disagreement, it is good for us to disagree, but find a common agenda for agree. We are not enemies. We are friends, we are brothers, we are sisters, we are compatriots. Above all, we are citizens of this great republic. Thank you very much for tuning in. Good night and goodbye.